Hello and welcome back to One More Push. My name is Nick White. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about developing and generating a new background for your video in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere Pro. So the first thing I did is I did a screenshot of the video that I wanted to adjust. And then I took my screenshot into Photoshop. And the AI generative tools in Photoshop are very awesome and fun to use. And if you haven't checked these out yet, I definitely recommend you check it out because this is going to be a great useful tool to implement in your short films and videos. So you can see we have a witch in the woods in front of a book of spells. And the first thing I want to do is set my guides. And then once I set my guides, I select the image, inverse my selection, and then type is expand background. And you can see this is not exactly what we're looking for. So I'm just going to add a couple more guides to help me out. I found that the generative expand actually works a little bit better. So the first thing I'll do is crop down my video with the crop tool and then reset those dimensions and then click expand. Now you can see all these creepy trees that were generated just to expand that background, which gives me a wider shot that I can use in the edit. Just a quick note, I didn't end up using this background on the final edit, but during the initial edit, I wanted to just play around with these new tools and see what I could do. So now that we have this background, I just want to go through with the heel brush, just add a couple more branches, remove the branches that I feel might be in the way, and clean things up a little bit. So then I save my image and import it back into Premiere Pro. There certainly is better ways to select these trees, but you know, what are you going to do? And you can see I was working on a film for Kira Wilson called Infernalis, which is a fun movie. Just a quick note, I didn't end up using this background on the final edit, but during the initial edit, I wanted to just play around with these new tools and see what I could do. Also, I just want to thank Kira Wilson for allowing me the opportunity to edit Infernalis, which I know is doing super well at the independent film festival circuit at the moment. It was really a lot of fun to work on, and I'm really happy with the end product. So if you've not had a chance, definitely check out the short horror film Infernalis. So once I have it trimmed down to just the background pieces that I'd like, I'll save the PSD and import that into Premiere Pro, and then add the layer that I want into my sequence. You can see I scaled down the original video and added this new Photoshop generative expand background into the scene just to make it framed out a little bit more, so I had some room to add some motion to the image and just make the background look a little more interesting. And there you go. Then I pre-comped it and added a zoom, which you may or may not need to do. I just wanted to highlight the practical use of the AI generative tool in Adobe Photoshop and explain how it can be used in your independent films within Adobe Premiere. If you learned something today, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and check back often because there's a lot more to talk about.